Welcome dear students to another lecture of whole number. This lecture is for class 6. I have put the link in the description box for material. Let us start. Last time we learned closure property and addition and subtraction of whole number using number line. Let us check another properties for whole numbers. First one is commutative property, another one is distributive associative property. Then we will learn distributive property as well. What is commutative property? Commutative property is nothing but the order shouldn't matter. That means if I add 3 and 4 or 4 and 3, answer will be 7. That is basically commutative property. And what do you mean by associative property? Associative property means if there are 3 numbers, let us say A, B and C, if I group the first 2 numbers, add them and then add C to the answer of these, and if my answer is still a whole number, then it does follow associative property. Or I can group them differently and still get the same answer, that is a associative property. Let us say A, B and C are numbers. Let us check for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Let us check commutative property for all of them. We will take examples. For addition, if I do 0 plus 2 and 2 plus 0, answer will be 2 for both the procedure. Yes. And this is a whole number. Yes. If I do 3 plus 5 or 5 plus 3, answer will be 8. It is a whole number. Yes. So addition does follow commutative property for whole number. Now let us do subtraction. If I do 5 minus 3, answer will be 2. But what if I do 3 minus 5? Answer won't be the same. So it does not follow, subtraction does not follow commutative property for whole number. Let us do multiplication. If I do 4 multiplied by 2 or 2 multiplied by 4, answer of both will be 8. Let us do 0 as well. 0 multiplied by 3 or 3 multiplied by 0. 0 multiplied by any number, answer will be 0. Then comes division. If I do 6 divided by 2, answer will be 3. But if I do 2 divided by 6, answer won't be 3. Answers are not same. And answer will also not be a whole number. So division does not follow commutative property. So yes, this follows. Addition follows commutative property. Subtraction does not follow commutative property. Multiplication does follow commutative property. And division does not follow commutative property for whole numbers. Now we will check for the associative property. If I do 3 plus 2 plus 1, answer will be 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. If I do 3 plus 1 and then add 2, answer still will be 6, because 3 plus 1 gives you 4, equal plus 2 is equal to 6. If I do 2 plus 1 and then add 3, answer will still be same, because 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 3 6. So all the answers are same for different groupings. So associative property does follow for addition for whole number. So it is followed by addition. Now let us check subtraction. It won't follow, obviously you know that 10 minus 3 minus 2. If I do 10 minus 3 minus 2, that is 10 minus 3 gives you 7 minus 2 is equals to 5. If I do 10 minus 2 minus 3, again 8 minus 3 5. But sir, answers are same. Let us take another 3 minus 2 minus 10. The grouping is different. 3 minus 2 gives you 1, 1 minus 10, answer will be whole number? No. So subtraction does not follow commutative property, associative property for whole number. So I am directly writing it does not follow. For multiplication it will follow? Yes. For division it won't follow. Understood? Now there is another property called as distributive property, which is again a universal property. We don't need to check whether it follows distributive property or not. It is a distributive property. If suppose there are three numbers A, B and C, if B and C are added and then A is multiplied, if I do that way, B and C are addable, so if I add them and then multiply A, or if I separately multiplied A into B and A into C and then add both the results, answer will be same. Let us check. First we will solve the bracket. 3 into 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 3 is 9, or we will use distributive property now. That is 3 multiplied by 2 separately, 3 multiplied by 1, and the results are added. 3 2s are 6 plus 3 1s are 3, that is 9. So why it is called distributive property? Because A gets distributed within B and C. That is why it is called distributive property. Now there is something called as additive identity. Additive identity. I am rubbing this. I hope you understood already. We will do additive identity. It is nothing but identity means the number should not lose its original value. That is called identity. Additive means related to addition. So if which number is there, if I add it to a given number, the value of the given number will not change. So there is only one number. Again I am repeating my question, which number is there which on adding to the given number, the given number's value does not change. So there is only one number, which is 0. If I add 0 to any number, any given number, the value of the given number will still remain the same. So 0 is basically additive identity. Same way there is something called as multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity means related to multiplication, and identity means given number should not lose its original value. So which number is there which on multiplying with a given number, the value of the given number remains the same. There is a number which is 1. On multiplying any number with any number, the value of that given number will still remain the same. 5 ones are 5, 6 ones are 6. If you do 100 ones, answer will be 100. So the number does not lose its original value on multiplication with multiplicative identity. So 1 is a multiplicative identity. So you understood additive identity, you understood multiplicative identity. Let us go further now. Now you know that any number multiplied with 0 gives you 0. You need to remember this point. Actually you don't need to remember this point because it is obvious. Any number on multiplying with 0 gives you 0, and any number divided by 0, this is a division sign, it is read as upon. Any number upon 0 is not defined, or I could say infinite, which is not defined. Obviously we don't know what number is there at infinity. That is why it is called not defined. Sometimes infinity symbol is used for not defined values, because we obviously do not know what infinity means exactly, which value is there on infinity. That is why we used it for not defined also. So, that is it for today's lecture. I hope you understood. I will post some questions and some exercise for you to solve in the link in the description box. You can post your doubts in the comment box. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.